Hello friends, welcome to CodeCrush Coding. In this video we are going to learn how to implement the multi-threading using implementing a runnable interface. So we have already seen what is multi-threading. So multi-threading is a process of executing multiple threads simultaneously. I have created a theory video. I have already provided the link in the description for that. Also we have seen how to achieve multi-threading using extending a thread class. So that is also provided in the description. In this video, we will see how to implement multi-threading using implementing a runnable interface. So let's first declare a class. So I will say a class, let's say my thread, and which will implement the runnable interface. So I will say a runnable from java.lang package. And inside this class, we need to have a method. So I will provide here a method called public void run, public void run. And inside this method, we will have one sysout statement. Let's say hi. Now this is not a normal class, right? Because once you implement the runnable interface, you will have the run method inside your class, and this can be used for multi-threading. Now inside our main class, which is having a main method, what we can do, we can create the object of this class. So I will say my thread, and then we will say here t1 is equal to new my thread. Now when your class is extending the thread interface, like in the previous video we have seen, when our class was extending the thread class, like my thread one was extending the thread class. So once we create the object of that my thread one, you can directly call that with the help of t1 dot start. Here we have created the t1 object of my thread one. But here when we create the object of my thread and it is implementing the runnable interface, what you need to do, you need to make use of thread class also. So thread class is basically from java.lang package thread, and then you need to have the object of that thread class new thread, and you need to pass the object of your class which is implementing the runnable interface. So in that case we have created t1, so you need to pass here t1, and whatever object you have created of thread class, with the help of that class you can call the run method. And how to call this run method? With the help of start, right? And if I try to run this code now, let's see the output. So we are getting here hi. So we are able to execute this run method with the help of this particular start method, and we have created the thread for this particular class. But this is a single thread, right? What if we want to create a multiple threads here and we want to execute them simultaneously? So what we can do, we can have one more class here. So let's copy this statement, paste it here, and we will say this is our my thread one, which implements the run method and prints hi. This is a mythread2 class which implements the runnable interface, and it also have the run method, and this will print hello. Now here we have replaced mythread with mythread1, so we will set here mythread1, and now we can create another object here for mythread2. So I will copy this statement, paste it here. So mythread2, it will have a t2 as object mythread2. Then again we will create the object for thread class. Let's say this is obj2, and we will pass it to t2, and then we will say here obj2 dot start, and let's say this as obj1, and here we will say obj1 dot start, or we can start these both here obj1 dot start. And now if I try to run this code, what will be the output here? It will print both. What error we are getting? Okay, in the previous class we have already there. Let's have your name as my thread 3 and my thread 4, and here we will create the object for my thread 3 and my thread 4. Let's run this code. Here we need to replace my thread 3, my thread 4. Let's run this code now. We are getting here hello and hi. So basically, if our code is sequential, means if you don't execute multi-threading, so what will happen? First, it will call the run method of this class mythread3 and it will implement the hi. Then it will call the run method of mythread4 class and then it will print hello. But when you are executing multi-threading, it will execute in parallel. So to show that, what I will do, I will have here a for loop for int I is equal to 0, I is less than 100, I plus plus, and inside that we will print here I statement. Similarly, for this run also, we will have a for loop. Let's copy this statement, paste it here, provide curly braces. Now what will happen? So practically, if it is not a multi-threading, so what will happen when you call this obj1.start, it will call this method, right? Run method, and it will print 100 hi, right? And then it will go for 100 hello. But when you are implementing the runnable interface and creating threads, it will execute in parallel. So to show that, see here. So what is happening? See, first hello are printed, then hi are printed, again hello are printed, then hi is printed. So basically it is executing the code parallelly, not sequentially. It means not all the hellos are printed or not all the highs are printed, but it is printing them simultaneously. So basically our these two threads are executing simultaneously. So this is a simple way to implement the multi-threading using runnable interface. So a simple thing you need to remember, whatever your class is, you need to implement with runnable interface, and then you need to create the object of that class. Here we have created object of that class, and then you need to pass that object to your thread class object, which is obj1, and then you need to call the run method with the start one. Also what you can do, you can set the names for this particular threads. What I will do, I will set here obj1 obj1 dot set name, and let's say name of this thread is thread, we will say here thread 3 object obj, okay. And also we will set the name for obj2. So obj2 dot set name, so this is our object for thread 4 class. So I will say here thread 4 obj, and while executing this we can print the name also. So here when we are printing the hi, what we can do, we can print the name of the thread. So how to print the name of thread? You need to make use of thread class, which is from java.lang package. Dot current thread is a method. Dot get name. Get name. Let's copy this statement, paste it here, and now run this code. You see here, whenever it will print hi, it will say thread 3 object because that is the name of that particular thread. And whenever it will print hello, it will say thread 4 object, and for hi thread 3 object. So this is a use of multi-threading. You can execute your code simultaneously. So this is a practical demonstration of how the multi-threading is working here. It is not printing all the highs or all the hellos first, but it is printing them simultaneously. So I hope you have understood what is multi-threading in Java and how to achieve multi-threading in Java. So that's it in this video.